Hey everyone, it is I, Jack, and Nosferatu 2024. Have you seen this? It is Christmas Day. I saw this at a showing, at like a 1:30 showing, and I will be very frank. I've never seen the original 1922 Nosferatu, but why I was intrigued by this film is because of the director, Robert Eggert. Um, Robert Eggers. He has directed the Witch, as they call it, or the Witch, the Lighthouse, and the Northman. Three very unique type of films, especially the Witch. A lot of people love the Witch. Some people don't like it because you have to literally watch it with a thesaurus or with subtitles because it is done in Old English. I mean, that's the one thing about Robert Eggers is that he does his research and he really takes the time to make sure that the movie you're watching feels so authentic to its time. Um, the Lighthouse is I don't recall too well how this is, but it's an allegory type of film. It's for a fable, but it's so well done though. You can't you can't stop watching what goes on in the Lighthouse. The Northman is just, I mean, it's almost, I think it's the closest thing we have so far in cinema to what would be a what is it, God of War type of film. I mean, it's brutal, but it's fucking amazing. So now Nosferatu, an homage to the original 1922 film, or retelling of sorts. What can I say about this film? My God, I was floored. By the time it ended, I was floored in the sense that what I had just seen is quite possibly the most perfect gothic masterpiece I've ever seen. And I mean, it's I personally I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I know some people may not. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, right now if you look at the Rotten Tomato scores, I'm pretty sure they're not 100%, but it's still a very good, highly scored film. But I'm not gonna give anything away. But what I will say is this: the time and attention that was taken to make this film feel like you are in the 1800s Germany is outstanding. There was shots that were done in Romania, so it's not, done on a green screen. It's on location. That in itself adds a lot to it. And everyone, the acting, oh God, you're going to be hearing a lot from a lot of different people regarding one person in particular, but I'll get to that person. Nicholas Holt, he's kind of like the audience. You're following him. It's Nicholas Holt. The guy can act. He's amazing. I didn't know it was him until I started putting one and one together. Aaron Taylor Johnson, or as we know him right now as Craven the Hunter. He's really good in this film too. Willem Dafoe is, it's Willem Dafoe. I mean, he's gonna be he's gonna do a master class in whatever role he's doing, and he's really good in this film. But there's two roles I didn't know. Okay, one role I knew, and we'll get to that. But there's one I did not know. So, Nosferatu. And it's first thing real quickly, it's Nosferatu and it's not Dracula. It's two differences. But Nosferatu, played by Bill Skarsgård. Holy fuck. Jesus. I didn't know it was him. I had no idea it was him. I knew about Nicholas Hoult. I knew about Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe, but I completely forgot that Bill Skarsgård was going to be in this film. I went into this film cold, so I let it just all, showcase in front of me, unravel right before my eyes. And at the very end, I realized, oh God, he's in this. That was him. Ah, fuck. You cannot see him. You cannot see Bill Skarsgård there. You just see the entity that is Nosferatu. And it's creepy the way he does it. But the biggest name you're going to be hearing from this movie is Lily Rose Depp. Lily Rose Depp is the protagonist of this film. You would think it's Nicholas Hoult. Majority of the time you're following him, but he's the audience. He's the one that's used to set up why this Nosferatu character is so creepy or menacing. Technically, he's the shadow of this whole film. He is the evil that people dread in this time period. He lurks in the shadows. I mean, he's a vampire. He can't be in the sunlight. But the thing is, his presence, the Nosferatu character's presence, it slowly starts to unravel as the film goes on. And I'll be honest, like I said, I've never seen the original 1922 film. And I mean, I know of Dracula from other movies, other tales, but not this version, or not this. So I didn't expect this to be a love story. In a sense, if you really want to break it down, it's a forbidden love story, a one-sided forbidden love story. I didn't expect that. I was taken off guard. But Lily Rose Depp, she steals this movie. She is the protagonist, like I mentioned, and the things that she has to do. Someone mentioned this, and it's a very accurate way of putting it. The Double Toasted crew mentioned this, that she does things she does things to make you feel uneasy. She contorts her face. She from one moment she's normal, another moment she's possessed, another moment she's this, another moment she's that. It's all within the same scene sometimes. So amazing. Kudos to her. Every person who has seen this film will probably come out saying, who's that girl? First off, and then when they realize, oh, that's Johnny Depp's daughter, they're gonna be like, fuck, okay. She is gonna make her a name for herself. And this is the start. I haven't seen her in any other films, but this, my God, I'm gonna keep an eye on, an eye out for her future projects. But regardless, the acting is fucking amazing, and with Robert Eggers' direction, they pulled off something that is so unique to this time in a way. Because the horror films that we get nowadays, there's a lot of jump scares, there's a lot of like gore. They're not centered on a period. It's just kind of more random. This is literally going back to the 1800s and telling the story of this evil entity. I mean, it's a vampire. Yeah, Nosferatu's the original vampire, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more because even though the interaction with the main characters is later, he's still in the background and things are happening. And it's him. It's him causing a lot of this. So that to me was what makes a perfect gothic horror type of film. And I mean, and I mentioned this in my TikTok video, the cinematography, there's moments, and I've started noticing this, that whenever Count Orlok, or Nosferatu, whenever he's on screen or whenever you're in his world, it's gray. It is either black and white or gray. There's touches of color, but primarily it's gray. Even the afflicted, whenever the camera is focused on the afflicted or focusing on them, it's gray. But when everybody else, there's color. So that, I think, was a very smart choice in the sense to show you, like, okay, when you're in this world, you're devoid of everything, every type of warmth. Color represents the warmth, and there's none of it in his world. There's none in his castle except for the fire. But in the fire, when you're in this scene where they're in the castle at night, roaring fire, it's nothing but shadows. And that's where it gets creepy. That's where Count Orlok is at he's at his most menacing, because he controls the shadows. He can just go anywhere in that. And Nicholas Hoult in that scene is literally starting to realize, I am in over my head. Did I really need this? Did I need to come here? And it's a great scene. It sets up the fear perfectly. Yeah, this movie is something special, and only a director like this, like Robert Eggers, can pull this off. Anyone else would have probably done a more modern take in Nosferatu, or they would have said, you know what, let's make this a little bit more modern in scope. Like, for example, not scope, but like in feel. Like, oh, we need a jump scare here. We need more gore here. Nah, this guy said, you know what? No, I'm gonna go back to a lot of the older horror films, even the original 1922 film, and use the atmosphere as the thing that makes you so uncomfortable that as you're watching this film, and if you allow yourself to get in, you just feel those changes. You feel that there's no color, there's cold, and when there is, you start to feel normal again. But then you start to feel the troubling nature that is happening to a family. So amazing. It's just an amazing film. I can't wait to see this again. The score. So the score is fucking perfection in this. It's ominous. It's not bombastic or overly bombastic. It's just like Nosferatu or Count Orlok. It's in the shadows. It's in the back, but it's pushing things forward. And man, I wish I would have been able to get the waxwork pressing of that. Apparently, Sacred Bones does still have a version of it, the ox blood variant, but they had a lilac version, but they had a special version that had like its own art, like a unique, like a unique inlay for the record, and that sucker's gone. You're gonna see that on Discogs for like $200-$300 eventually. But if you can still get the Oxblood version, one thing I did find out is the vinyl pressings of the score, it's not complete. On Spotify, the score is like 51 tracks, and when I looked at the vinyls, they're roughly about 40, maybe 40 tracks or so. So it's not complete. You're missing a lot of cues. But regardless, though, if you want a good memento of this film, aside from the popcorn bucket that everyone's getting, that score is fucking great. And yeah, Sacred Bone still has a couple of copies. If ever Waxwork gets the permission to press a couple more, I'm gonna jump on those, and I'll announce it on my on the socials when I have more or accessibility to those. But yeah, question for all of you guys: what did you think? I know probably the one question you're gonna come at me, and I've been asked on TikTok, is it scary? I'll be honest. It's, like I said, it's not scary for modern horror viewers. It's more of a suspense thriller, period piece in the 1800s, a very great homage to the original. So it's not jump scares. It's more of like everything's unfolding, and ultimately, you feel the tension and the suspense, and you're wondering how the fuck is this gonna resolve? Um, so I mean, it's to me it wasn't scary, but it was suspenseful. So to each his own when it comes to that, you know. But regardless, if you saw it, what did you think? Leave a comment below. Um, what I mean, I'm actually gonna go back now and look at, watch the original 1922 version, and also I'm gonna lose fucking credibility on this, but I've never seen Bram Stoker's Bram Stoker's Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola version. I've never seen it. I've heard the score. The score is fucking amazing, but I've never seen that film. And from the little bit that I've seen clips of that film, this one is superior. Primarily because it's technically homaging the original, and I mean, it's just beautiful. I saw this at the Alamo Drafthouse in LA, and they were giving out these. Let me see here. Which one is it? These little postcards here. I don't know if you can see it, but it just says Nosferatu right there. Pretty cool. But I would say watch it in IMAX. This world is vast, so watch it in IMAX or Dolby Digital. If the reason why I say Dolby Digital is because their color scheme is so much more vibrant, so the shadows will look horrifying. The shadows when it's done with Dolby Digital, the shadows, the blacks of the colors are gonna look like you're looking into a void, literally a black hole. So I'm probably gonna go watch it again, but in Dolby Digital, because I want to see that contrast. It's night and day when you see it, to compare a film on Dolby Digital to regular cinema, night and day. But anyway, leave comment below, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. I don't have my thing for TikTok there, but still it's the same Heretic Circle. But leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.